Urgent, it dropped like a bomb. Jayson Tatum makes a strong, unexpected statement about the Lakers. Stay until the end to find out everything. But before starting the video, leave your like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any important news about the Lakers. In the world of basketball, few rivalries transcend generations, eras, and legends like the one between the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers. This isn't just about basketball. It's about legacy, pride, and history written in banners that hang from rafters in Boston and Los Angeles. 17 apiece, tied for the most in NBA history until the recent shifts in the league. When you wear green, you don't root for purple and gold. When you rep the Lakers, you never cheer for the Shamrocks. It's a rule unwritten but universally understood. Fans know it. Players feel it. It's embedded in the DNA of both franchises. This rivalry has produced some of the greatest battles the NBA has ever witnessed. The Larry Bird vs. Magic Johnson wars of the 80s, the Kobe Bryant vs. Paul Pierce duels in 2008 and 2010, and countless regular season games that felt like finals regardless of the standings. The energy, the intensity, and the animosity, all fueled by decades of competitive fire. And yet, there are layers to this story, personal connections that complicate the simplicity of hate between colors. Enter Jayson Tatum. For those who follow Tatum's career closely, the irony is undeniable. Growing up, Tatum was a massive fan of Kobe Bryant, idolizing the Black Mamba like millions of young hoopers worldwide. Posters of Kobe covered his bedroom walls. He studied Kobe's footwork, his mid-range mastery, and his killer instinct. In interviews, he never hid the fact that Kobe was his hero, the ultimate embodiment of greatness. It wasn't just Kobe either. As a kid, Tatum admired the Lakers as a team, a fact that, for Celtics faithful, feels almost like basketball blasphemy. But childhood fandom doesn't dictate professional loyalty. Fast forward to 2017, the NBA draft. The Lakers held the number 2 overall pick. Tatum, one of the most promising prospects of his class, might have seen his name called by the Lakers. It could have happened. It didn't. Instead, the Lakers selected Lonzo Ball, and Tatum landed with the one franchise whose name stands opposite the Lakers in every NBA history book, the Boston Celtics. Since then, Tatum hasn't just embraced Boston. He's become the face of the franchise, the torchbearer of Celtic pride, and a living symbol of the next generation of Boston greatness. That brings us to today, a league constantly evolving, reshaping itself with blockbuster trades, free agency moves, and shocking team-ups. The most recent shock? Luka Dončić joining the Lakers. A move that shook the NBA landscape and ignited endless debates. Reporters quickly flocked to players across the league, asking for their thoughts. When the question reached Tatum, his response wasn't coded in diplomacy or hidden behind media-trained answers. No, it was direct, honest, pure Tatum. I'm not a kid anymore, so I don't really watch the Lakers. I'm a big fan of the Celtics. That was it. No sugarcoating. No pretending to be neutral. Just a statement that resonated deeply, both with Celtics fans who loved every word, and with NBA followers who recognized the depth of this rivalry. But what does a statement like that really mean? Is it just playful loyalty? Or does it signal something deeper, about Tatum's mindset, his competitive fire, and his views on the ever-changing NBA? This is the story behind that quote. A story about rivalry, loyalty, respect, and the lines that players draw, not just for the cameras but in their hearts. Before the bright lights of TD Garden ever shined on Jayson Tatum, before he heard the deafening roar of Boston fans chanting his name, and long before he became the face of the Celtics franchise, he was just a kid from St. Louis, Missouri, with dreams like any other young baller. Tatum's bedroom walls were once draped in purple and gold. Posters of Kobe Bryant hung like sacred art. He watched every game he could, imitating Kobe's moves in his driveway, pausing highlights on YouTube just to study that signature fadeaway, that lethal footwork, that ice-cold demeanor in the clutch. He wasn't just a fan of Kobe, he was a disciple. Kobe was everything to me, Tatum has said countless times. He was the reason I fell in love with basketball. It wasn't just Kobe's on-court greatness that captivated young Tatum. It was his mentality, the infamous Mamba mentality, that shaped how Tatum approached not only the game but life itself. Work ethic, resilience, focus, obsession with improvement, all lessons passed from Kobe to a generation of hoopers, with Tatum being one of the most devout students. Naturally, his love for Kobe extended to the Los Angeles Lakers, the team that embodied Kobe's greatness. The banners, the celebrity-filled sidelines, the championships. To a kid from Missouri, it was the definition of basketball royalty. But life has a way of rewriting scripts. When Tatum entered the 2017 NBA draft, destiny seemed to be whispering. The Los Angeles Lakers owned the second overall pick. Tatum wasn't just a top prospect. He was arguably the most polished scorer in the draft class. The idea of Tatum following in Kobe's footsteps, wearing number 24 or maybe even number 8 in the Staples Center, felt like a storybook waiting to be written. But that page never turned. The Lakers, enticed by the hype surrounding local star Lonzo Ball, passed on Tatum. They didn't hold private workouts for him. They barely engaged. Tatum later admitted, "It was devastating. They didn't even bring me in for a workout. I thought there was a chance, but they weren't interested. Instead, fate had other plans." The Boston Celtics, their arch-nemesis, swooped in. Danny Ainge, ever the opportunist, traded down from the first pick to the third, believing, correctly, that the player he truly wanted, Jayson Tatum, would still be there. And he was. Suddenly, the kid who once wore purple and gold in his dreams was handed a jersey drenched in Celtic green. The same franchise that Kobe often battled in NBA Finals. The same logo that symbolized heartbreak for Lakers fans on multiple occasions. But here's the twist: Tatum didn't hesitate. If anything, it awakened something inside him. The echoes of the rivalry, the history, the challenge, it ignited his competitive fire in a way childhood fandom never could. "I'm with the Celtics now. That's my family. That's my home." As years passed, Tatum grew not just into a star but into a cornerstone for the Celtics. His game evolved. His leadership matured. And with every game against the Lakers, the subtext was never lost on fans. The boy who once admired the Lakers was now one of the greatest threats to their success. So when news broke that Luka Dončić, one of the most electrifying talents in the NBA, was headed to the Lakers, media swarmed Tatum for his thoughts. They expected excitement, curiosity, maybe even nostalgia. But instead they got brutal honesty. "I'm not a kid anymore. I don't really watch the Lakers." It wasn't dismissive. It wasn't shade. It was clarity, a statement of a man who had fully transitioned from fan to rival, from admirer to adversary. "I'm a big fan of the Celtics. That's it." No room for divided loyalties. No space for past fandom to bleed into the present. Tatum had chosen his side long ago, and that side wears green. But what does that mean moving forward? How does a rivalry steeped in history take on new life with superstars like Luka and Tatum on opposing ends? How does Tatum truly feel about the Lakers now, beyond the soundbite? The story continues. The NBA is a league built on moments. Sometimes it's the thunderous slam of a game-winning dunk. Other times it's a headline that sends shockwaves through the basketball world, and the announcement of Luka Dončić joining the Los Angeles Lakers was exactly that. No one saw it coming. Or at least, no one wanted to believe it was real until it was official. Luka in purple and gold? The idea was as electrifying as it was terrifying, especially for fans of rival teams. The Lakers had done it again. Another superstar in the City of Angels. Another chapter in their never-ending quest for dominance. Social media erupted. Fans cheered. Others groaned. Analysts debated endlessly. Every major network, every podcast, every barbershop conversation shifted focus. The balance of power in the West just changed. Is this the next Lakers dynasty? How do you even guard Luka and AD together? The conversation wasn't just about basketball mechanics. It was about history, legacy, and the unrelenting gravitational pull of the Lakers brand. This is the franchise that brought in Wilt, Kareem, Magic, Shaq, Kobe, LeBron, and now Luka. The lineage speaks for itself. But not everyone was impressed. Or perhaps, some simply didn't care to play along with the hype machine. When the inevitable question landed in front of Jayson Tatum, it was phrased with a mix of curiosity and expectation. What do you think about Luka joining the Lakers? Pretty exciting for the league, right? Tatum didn't flinch. There was no hesitation, no performative excitement, no fake enthusiasm. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't really watch the Lakers. I'm a big fan of the Celtics. Simple. Direct. Unapologetic. It wasn't shade, but it wasn't indifference either. It was the voice of someone who understands the game not as a spectator, but as a competitor. The days of wide-eyed fandom were over for Tatum. The Lakers were no longer a team to admire, they were the opponent. Always. That quote instantly went viral. Celtics fans flooded the comments with green hearts and clover emojis. Lakers fans predictably fired back, calling it jealousy or bitterness. The media spun it into every narrative possible. Was it disrespect? Was it a subtle shot? Or was it just a man speaking his truth? But for those who really know Tatum, those who've watched his journey from St. Louis to Boston, the meaning was crystal clear. This wasn't just about Luka. It wasn't about the Lakers' shiny new roster. It was about loyalty, about rivalry, about understanding what it means to wear that Celtics jersey, the weight, the responsibility, the history. Tatum has said it before, once you're a Celtic, you're always a Celtic. And that comes with certain unspoken rules. Chief among them? You don't root for the Lakers. Even if the Lakers become the most entertaining show on hardwood. Even if the NBA world shifts its gaze toward Hollywood. Even if Luka lights up arenas with triple-doubles and highlight reels. Tatum doesn't care. His eyes are locked on one thing, bringing Banner 18 to Boston. Everything else? Background noise. Of course he respects Luka. How could he not? Luka is a generational talent. One of the most creative offensive players the league has seen in decades. But respect isn't the same as admiration. And it certainly isn't the same as support. For Tatum, Luka in a Lakers jersey is just another challenge. Another obstacle in the way. Another name on the scouting report. And maybe that's the beauty of it. In a league where friendships and player movement often blur the lines of competition, Tatum represents something rare. A throwback mentality. A purity of rivalry. An understanding that in this game some lines simply don't get crossed. I'm a big fan of the Celtics. 8 words. One message. The rivalry is alive. And it's personal. The NBA has a way of telling stories without saying a word. It happens when two titans meet on the court, when the crowd holds its breath in the final seconds, and when the jerseys alone tell you this isn't just another game. Celtics versus Lakers. It's not just a matchup. It's a symbol. A living, breathing piece of basketball history. In recent years, the rivalry has evolved. Gone are the days of Bird and Magic. Gone are the battles of Kobe versus Pierce or Garnett versus Gasol. A new generation has taken the stage, and leading the charge in green is Jayson Tatum, while in purple and gold, a new face has emerged, Luka Dončić. The NBA calendar always circles the dates when the Celtics and Lakers clash. But now, with Luka wearing that iconic Lakers uniform, those games have taken on an entirely new level of electricity. The first matchup post-Luka trade wasn't just a game. It was an event. TD Garden was packed. Celebrities lined the courtside seats. Fans rocked vintage jerseys, some repping Magic, some Kobe, others Bird and Pierce, but most wore the new, Tatum 0 Luka 77. The tension was palpable from tip-off. Tatum opened the game aggressive. Fadeaways from the elbow, drives through contact, step-back threes. Luka responded with his signature slow-motion but unstoppable attacks. Floaters, deep step-backs, no-look passes. Every possession felt like a statement. You came to LA to run this? Not on my watch. This is your house? Prove it. Fans could feel it. Players could feel it. This wasn't just basketball, this was theater. But underneath the on-court fireworks, there was a deeper narrative playing out, one written in Tatum's own mind. This wasn't about Luka as a player. Tatum respected his game immensely. It wasn't even about who was better. Those debates belonged to the media and fans. For Tatum it was simpler and more primal. You put on that Lakers jersey, you're on the other side now. It didn't matter that Luka was European. It didn't matter that he had no prior stake in the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. The second he donned that purple and gold, the history, the tension, the fire, it all became his to carry. And Tatum? He wasn't about to let history forget who runs Boston. Throughout the game, the two traded blows. Luka with a deep three to silence the Garden, Tatum responding with a baseline dunk that sent the crowd into a frenzy. The cameras caught them exchanging words, not trash talk exactly, but the kind of competitive dialogue only two superstars understand. When asked post-game if the rivalry felt different now, Tatum smiled. It's always Celtics versus Lakers. Doesn't matter who's wearing the jersey. That don't change. But then, almost as if to remind everyone where he stands, he added, I don't watch the Lakers. I'm a Celtics guy. Always. The internet exploded. Memes, debates, hot takes flooded every corner of basketball media. Some praised Tatum's loyalty, calling it real rivalry energy. Others accused him of being dismissive, bitter, maybe even disrespectful. But the truth? Tatum didn't care. This wasn't about narratives. This wasn't about pleasing anyone. It was about understanding the weight of that green jersey, the decades of battles, the banners hanging in the rafters. For Tatum, every dribble against the Lakers is bigger than basketball. It's a continuation of a war that started before he was born, and one he's now responsible for carrying forward. As for Luka, his presence in Los Angeles might signal the start of a new dynasty, a new chapter in Lakers history. But standing in his way, every step, every game, every finals possibility, is Jayson Tatum. A kid who once admired the Lakers. A man who now lives to beat them. And if the tension from that first game is any indication, the NBA has a new rivalry to obsess over for the next decade. It's one thing to be a star in the NBA. It's another to wear the jersey of the Boston Celtics, a franchise where greatness isn't a goal, it's a requirement. Every time Jayson Tatum steps onto the parquet floor of TD Garden, he looks up. Above him hang the banners. 17 of them. A visual reminder that in Boston, being great isn't enough. You have to win. You have to make history. It's a weight that few can carry. For Tatum, it's personal. He knows exactly what it means. He grew up idolizing Kobe Bryant, who taught him the obsession of legacy, of writing your own chapter in the story of basketball. But the cruel twist of fate? That story isn't being written in purple and gold. It's being written in Celtic green. When you wear this jersey, you're not just playing for the name on the back. You're playing for the banners. For the legends. For everyone who ever bled green. The pressure isn't invisible. It's in every headline. Every podcast. Every post-game show that questions. Can Tatum deliver banner 18? Is he really the guy to bring Boston back to the top? He hears it. He just doesn't run from it. In fact, it fuels him. When the news of Luka Dončić joining the Lakers hit, Tatum didn't just see it as a blockbuster trade. He saw it as the league reshaping itself. As the universe throwing another obstacle in his path. Another reason why banner 18 wouldn't be handed to him. It had to be taken. And that's where Tatum's mindset shifted. From star to leader, from scorer to legacy builder. Every workout got a little more intense. Every film session went deeper. Every fourth quarter possession carried more weight. Not just because of Luka. Not just because of the Lakers. But because of what it all represents. This isn't just about now. This is about what they'll say when I'm done. The shadow of the rivalry stretches long. From Russell versus Wilt to Bird versus Magic to Pierce versus Kobe. Each generation leaves its mark. And now it's Tatum's turn. He knows Luka's arrival in LA means the stakes are higher. If the Celtics and Lakers meet in the finals, and the basketball gods always seem to find a way, it won't just be about Boston versus LA. It'll be Tatum versus Luka. A legacy-defining battle. And the truth? Tatum relishes it. He's not Luka. Luka isn't him. Their games are different. Their paths are different. But in this chapter of NBA history, their names are now permanently linked. Two superstars on opposite sides of the league's greatest rivalry. The media keeps trying to push the narrative. Does Tatum respect Luka in a Lakers jersey? Would he ever join forces with him in the future? Tatum's answer is always the same. Direct. Unapologetic. I'm not a kid anymore. I don't watch the Lakers. I'm a fan of the Celtics. Period. That's not pettiness. That's not bitterness. That's loyalty, something that feels increasingly rare in today's NBA. Because for Tatum, this isn't just about rings. It's about how you get them. It's about who you beat to get there. And nothing, absolutely nothing, would mean more than raising banner 18 while watching the Lakers fall short. That's legacy. That's Boston. That's what I'm here to do. The question now isn't whether Tatum can rise to the challenge. The question is whether Luka, and the rest of the NBA, can stop him. Basketball has never just been about basketball. Not in this era. Not in this league. Not with these players. The rivalry between the Celtics and the Lakers has always transcended the court. But now, in the age of 24/7 social media, instant reactions, viral clips, and relentless narratives, that rivalry is louder, messier, and more global than ever. The second the trade was announced, Luka Dončić to the Lakers, Twitter, or X as it's now called, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube went into absolute meltdown. Memes. Hot takes. Edits with dramatic music. Comment sections turned into digital battlegrounds. Lakers fans posting Luka and photoshopped Kobe jerseys. The new era is here. Showtime reborn. Celtics fans clapping back with clips of Tatum dropping 40 on LA. Keep dreaming. Banner 18 loading. The NBA's official accounts fed the fire, posting side-by-side graphics of Tatum versus Luka, throwing out polls like, "Who's the face of the league now?" and inviting fans to argue endlessly in the comments. Every move these two stars made was magnified. A Luka no-look pass? Viral. A Tatum step-back dagger? Trending worldwide. A subtle post-game quote from either? Fuel to the fire. But nothing hit harder than the resurfaced clip of Tatum, when asked about the Lakers' super team. "I'm not a kid anymore. I don't watch the Lakers. I'm a big fan of the Celtics." That soundbite became a rallying cry for Celtics fans. It got remixed into TikTok audios, turned into wallpapers, printed on t-shirts, chanted in student sections at Boston College games. Lakers fans responded with their own wave of trolling. "You don't have to watch us, Tatum, you'll see us in June." Even NBA players chimed in. Some laughed, some backed their friends, others stirred the pot for fun. Podcasts exploded with debates. Is this the best modern rivalry since LeBron versus Steph? Is Tatum being salty or just loyal? How does Luka handle being the new villain in Boston? It wasn't just the fans and media either. Brands jumped in. Nike, Gatorade, and Beats dropped subtle ads playing off the rivalry, featuring players in cryptic, cinematic promos where green and purple lights battled on screen. The rivalry wasn't just alive, it was thriving, evolving, becoming a culture war between two cities, two histories, two identities. Boston, with its gritty, underdog mentality, blue-collar roots, and obsession with tradition, defense, and banners. Los Angeles, with its star power, Hollywood flair, big moments, and a brand built on glitz, glam, and championships. And standing at the center of it all? Jayson Tatum and Luka Dončić. Both global stars. Both faces of their franchises. Both elite, yet polar opposites in style and vibe. Tatum, smooth, elegant, methodical, but with that East Coast edge. A player shaped by the weight of expectation by the ghost of legends like Bird and Pierce. Luka, creative, unpredictable, with that European swagger. A player who plays like he's never in a rush, yet always 2 steps ahead, now draped in the gold legacy of Magic, Kobe, and LeBron. And the tension? It's not fake. It's not manufactured. It's real. Tatum isn't playing into the hype for clicks. He genuinely doesn't care about the Lakers. His words weren't for show. They were a message. I'm not here to celebrate your super teams. I'm here to beat them. The fans feel it. The media feeds it. The league loves it. And the next time Boston and LA collide, whether in the regular season, Christmas Day, or the NBA Finals, it won't just be a game. It'll be a global event. Celtics versus Lakers. Tatum versus Luka. Legacy versus legacy. And everyone will be watching, whether Tatum cares or not. Inside the walls of TD Garden, away from the roaring crowd, the flashing cameras, and the endless noise of social media, there's a different kind of pressure. A quieter one. A heavier one. It's the pressure of legacy. The pressure of expectation. The weight of the name stitched across the chest. Celtics. When you step into that locker room, you don't just see a team. You see history reflected in every banner, every framed photo, every retired number hanging silently above. And standing at the center of it all, not as a rookie, not as a kid chasing his idols, but as a grown man, a leader, is Jayson Tatum. The energy changed the moment Luka arrived in Los Angeles. Not just for the fans, not just for the media, but inside this very room. The veterans felt it. The young guys noticed it. The assistant coaches whispered about it. It's us versus them. Again. In the days leading up to their first clash with the new-look Lakers, the vibe in practice shifted. More intense. Less smiling. More focused. Tatum wasn't yelling. He didn't have to. His presence was the message. During film sessions, his voice cut through. You see that? That's Luka. He's gonna try that skip pass all night. Stay ready. They love that drag screen with AD. Switch it clean. No mistakes. He wasn't just a scorer anymore. He was the general. In weight rooms, he set the tone. First one in. Last one out. No shortcuts. In the locker room before tip-off, as players laced their sneakers and pulled on their jerseys, the talk wasn't generic. This ain't just Game 34. This ain't just a West Coast matchup. You know what this is. You know what that jersey means. Handle it. And then, with that mix of calm and fire, Tatum dropped what became an unspoken motto for the team. We don't watch them. We beat them. That hit different. The young guys, Jordan Walsh, Sam Hauser, felt it in their bones. The vets, Drew, Derek White, Jalen, nodded, knowing exactly what that meant. This wasn't just about Luka. It was bigger. It was about not letting the narrative shift. About reminding the world that while the Lakers chase headlines, Boston builds banners. During shoot-around, teammates joked about the flood of memes online. Someone pulled out their phone, showing a clip of Lakers fans calling Luka the next Magic. Tatum didn't laugh. Cool. Let's see how Magic does tonight. When the game tipped off, that quiet intensity exploded into action. Tatum orchestrated, communicated, punished every mistake. When Luka tried a step back, Tatum was there contesting. When AD rolled to the rim, Tatum rotated, forcing the extra pass. On the bench, he didn't just sit and sip Gatorade. He pointed things out, directed rotations, challenged mistakes. Don't let him get comfortable. You know who they are. You know who we are. Even in dead ball moments, his voice echoed. This ain't LA. This is Boston. And every player fed off it. By the fourth quarter, when the game hung in the balance, Tatum wasn't just scoring. He was leading. He was carrying the weight of every Celtic that ever wore green. A step-back three over Luka. A glare. No words. Just the message. Not here. Not now. Not ever. Post-game, as reporters swarmed, looking for sound bites, for drama, for anything clickable, Tatum kept it simple. We're the Celtics. We don't run from anybody. We don't chase super teams. We don't watch the Lakers. We handle our business. Inside the locker room, no one said it out loud, but everyone felt it. This isn't just a season. This is a statement. And as long as Tatum's the one wearing that jersey, the rivalry isn't just alive. It's personal. The NBA is always moving forward, but some moments echo far beyond their time. They become chapters in the story of the game. Moments that define eras, shape legacies, and inspire generations. Jayson Tatum knows this all too well. Wearing the Celtics green, he carries a responsibility not just to win games, but to build something that lasts. To carve his name alongside legends. To raise banner 18. But what does that mean in a world where superstars like Luka Dončić move across the league, shifting the balance of power and rewriting the narratives of rivalry? For Tatum, it means understanding that legacy isn't just about stats or rings. It's about defining your era your way. It's not about copying what came before. It's about creating your own chapter. This rivalry, Celtics versus Lakers, Tatum versus Luka, is more than basketball. It's a clash of philosophies, cities, histories, and futures. Luka represents the new wave, a global superstar with a flair for the dramatic and an unshakable confidence in his style. Tatum embodies tradition, a player molded by history, loyalty, and the fierce pride of Boston's blue-collar roots. The years ahead will bring battles that fans will remember forever. Playoff series that echo the greats, moments that turn into memories. And through it all, the question lingers. Who will rise? Who will fall? Who will define the next great era of this rivalry? For Tatum, the answer is clear. He's here to win. Not just for himself, but for the Celtics, the fans, and the countless players who came before him. I don't watch the Lakers because I don't need distractions. I have my own path, my own goals. And that path is lit by the green banners above. A reminder that greatness demands sacrifice, focus, and relentless will. The rivalry with Luka is just part of the journey, a test of fire that sharpens his edge. As the NBA evolves, the story of Tatum and Luka, Celtics and Lakers, will continue to captivate the world. Because some rivalries aren't just about winning. They're about legacy. And Jayson Tatum? He's ready to make his. The rivalry between Jayson Tatum and Luka Dončić is more than just a competition on the court. It's a cultural phenomenon that reflects the values, identities, and dreams of millions. Boston and Los Angeles are not just cities. They are symbols, each representing unique histories and hopes that extend well beyond basketball. In Boston, Tatum is more than a player, he is a beacon of resilience. The city's blue-collar roots and tough spirit are embodied in his relentless work ethic and quiet confidence. Every time he steps onto the floor, he carries the weight of generations who built the Celtics into a basketball dynasty through grit and determination. It's about representing something bigger than yourself, Tatum once said in an interview. When I wear this jersey, I'm carrying my city's history and its future. In Los Angeles, Luka is the symbol of a new era, one defined by diversity, creativity, and global influence. His European roots, combined with his flair and charisma, make him a bridge between continents and cultures, reflecting LA's identity as a melting pot of talent and innovation. Fans around the world see themselves in both players. Whether it's the hard-working kid from a small town who dreams of glory or the international prodigy breaking boundaries and rewriting the rules. The media has dubbed it a clash of worlds. But for the players themselves, it's a shared respect for what the game means. Tatum respects Luka's artistry and vision. Luka admires Tatum's discipline and heart. This cultural dynamic extends into their communities as well. Both have invested in youth programs, charity work, and initiatives to empower the next generation. In Boston, Tatum's foundation supports education and sports opportunities for underprivileged youth, creating pathways to success on and off the court. In Los Angeles, Luka's charitable efforts focus on inclusion and international outreach, helping break down barriers and build bridges. Their rivalry fuels competition, but it also inspires collaboration. It sparks conversations about identity, legacy, and what it means to be a role model in today's world. As basketball continues to grow globally, the story of Tatum and Luka reminds us that the sport is more than just points and rebounds. It's about connection, culture, and the power to inspire. In the years to come, no matter who wins more championships or scores more points, their impact will be measured not just by trophies but by the lives they touch and the communities they uplift. Because some legacies don't just belong to the game, they belong to the world. Rivalries define sports. They create drama, passion, and unforgettable moments. But as time passes, they also evolve. Jayson Tatum and Luka Dončić, though fierce competitors, share more than just a scoreboard rivalry. Beneath the heat of battle lies the potential for something greater, a mutual respect that could shape the future of the NBA. Both players are young, ambitious, and driven. Each wants to carve his own legacy, but they also understand the bigger picture. The league is changing. Super teams come and go. Today's rivals could be tomorrow's teammates. There's already been whispers behind the scenes, conversations between the stars and their camps about growth, challenges, and the future. Tatum admires Luka's creativity and leadership. Luka respects Tatum's work ethic and consistency. They both know that transcending individual glory means embracing collaboration. Imagine the possibilities. A Celtics-Lakers finals that not only delivers on court but builds bridges off it. Or even a future All-Star game where Tatum and Luka lead combined teams, blending styles, cultures, and fan bases. Their rivalry could become a powerful narrative of competition evolving into partnership, demonstrating that greatness isn't just about beating the opponent but also about inspiring each other to be better. The media loves this storyline, but for Tatum and Luka, it's about real growth. Tatum's recent interviews hint at a mature perspective. At the end of the day, we're all here because we love the game. Respect is earned, not given. Luka has expressed admiration for Tatum's leadership. He's tough, smart, and always pushing himself. That's what I respect most. As they continue their journeys, fans will watch not only their head-to-head battles but also how their relationship develops. Will the rivalry harden into lasting animosity? Or will it soften into one of the greatest friendships and partnerships the NBA has ever seen? The future remains unwritten. But one thing is clear: the story of Jayson Tatum and Luka Dončić is far from over. It's a story about rivalry, respect, growth, and the endless pursuit of greatness. And for basketball lovers worldwide, that's a narrative worth following, game by game, season by season. Every great story needs an ending, or at least a moment of pause to reflect on everything that came before. The rivalry between Jayson Tatum and Luka Dončić is more than a chapter in NBA history. It's a living saga, one that continues to evolve, inspire, and captivate millions around the world. From the bright-eyed kid who admired Kobe Bryant and dreamed of Celtics glory, to the confident leader carrying the weight of a city, Tatum's journey is one of growth, resilience, and relentless ambition. Luka, with his global flair and creative genius, represents the modern game, a bridge between continents, cultures, and generations. Together, their rivalry reminds us why we love basketball: the drama, the passion, the human stories behind every shot and every game. It's a reminder that legacy isn't just about championships or records. It's about the impact you leave on the game, on your city, and on the people who watch you. For Tatum and Luka, that impact is still unfolding. Their battles will be remembered not just for the points scored or games won, but for the spirit of competition and respect they brought to the court. In a league where super teams rise and fall, where players come and go, this rivalry stands as a testament to dedication, pride, and the timeless allure of basketball. And as new generations of players step onto the hardwood, inspired by their journey, the story will continue. Because rivalries like this, between Celtics and Lakers, between Tatum and Luka, are never truly over. They live on in the banners, in the memories, and in the hearts of fans. And that's the greatest legacy of all.